Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to also invite to the podium for my presentation on the British Council GEP. This is not one of the Professor Colin supported. PhD honors, MSc, PhD, MLIQS, IQS, PhD. This is how everything trust. So the presentation was able.
Thank you very much. Vice Chancellor, sir. My VIP Dean, the keynote speaker, members of the high table, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I have to tell you, I'm deeply, deeply grateful to see this day and to have all of you here participate and join us in discussions about our research. So in the next few minutes, I want to talk about the British Council's going global partnerships. You heard the Vice Chancellor mention that it is one of the, focal aspects of the university, the research part of it. And research cannot be conducted, so to speak, free of charge. It will cost you. It costs you time, it costs you money. There are a lot of resources that go into it. Now, the British Council has what they call Going Global Partnership, and it's an initiative which is committed to building stronger, more inclusive, internationally connected higher education and technical and vocational education and training systems, which support social and economic growth. So this program is structured to support partnerships between universities, colleges, education policymakers, civil society organizations, and industry partners in the UK and around the world. So the idea behind this partnership is to build relationships and share good practice with international partners. They have several topics that you can apply to, not just construction. Another aim of this partnership is to develop scientific collaboration and to get funding for research partnerships on so many different topics, and also to access grant funding for collaborative partnerships. Now, they have several programs, and the focus of those programs are 4 in number: to enable research, to internationalize higher education and vocational institutions, to strengthen higher education, and to enhance student outcomes. So through this Going Global Partnerships, we can actually apply for funding. There are several of them that are available, and the funding can support any partnerships that you have, any partnership that will encourage seed funding for teaching, any partnership that is focused on things like climate change, public health, and other subjects. Now, within the scope of the Going Global Partnership, they have what they call the Gender Equality Partnerships Grant. And that's the one that we apply for. The Gender Equality Partnership Grant supports higher and further education institutions and sector bodies to progress gender equality, building on the potential of the sector to influence the wider society. You will agree with me that for the most part, the building blocks of our society are housed in our classrooms, whether at the primary, secondary, or university. This is where we train the people, the resources that will go into the wider society to make the change. So the Gender Equality Partnership is one of the many grants under the Going Global Partnership. So for this particular grant, the UK is a collaboration between UK and several countries. They have Bangladesh, Pakistan, Peru, South Africa, and Nigeria, and also Egypt. I think for this particular grant is for 2023, and they had 12 slots available. So if you got one of the 12 slots that were available, each one, the cap was placed at £25,000. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, permit me, I will not mention how much we were given, but it was very, very good for supporting the research. Yes, I've said enough. Thank you, sir. So for the gender equality partnership, so whether you are in pharmacy or agriculture, oil and gas sector, any sector that you are in, and you have any research, climate change, education that you want to do that has to do with prevention of violence against women and girls, with particular focus on higher and further education, addressing women's underrepresentation in higher and further education leadership. Like my dean earlier mentioned, we have the director, the very first one for ABU, for research and innovation, being a woman. So that particular theme is being addressed in ABU already. The third theme that you can get funding for is enabling access and tackling subject segregation. But in this case, they have more emphasis in the area of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The fourth theme, strengthening pathways into employment for women graduates from further and higher education, is the one that we focused on. So our research is focused really on how we can get more women graduates into the construction industry, because we understand that gender equality issues impact and are reflected in our educational systems worldwide. There are unequal access to higher and further educations in many countries, and women have less access to resources and fewer opportunities. Unfortunately, you make available resources. Sometimes we don't take advantage of it. My keynote speaker was just observing that it's like, this place. This is a program that is supposed to promote women graduates. Looking at the audience, I think, well, maybe I will put it at 50 to 50. I'm being biased. No, but really, I know we talk a lot about access. We have fewer access, we have fewer resources, but we will not stop talking. We will keep, hitting on that matter over and over until we make a change. So women have less access to resources and fewer opportunities. And yes, there's the existence of violence against women, which sometimes, unfortunately, could affect students or even staff. And in some instances, there are sustained underrepresentation of women in leadership positions. So despite women succeeding academically, there's evidence that shows that it's more challenging for women to succeed in their careers, whether in the educational system or in practice, particularly in fields where men are overrepresented, including STEM areas. So for our research project, Gender Diversification of Construction Industry Workforce, Attracting, Recruiting, Supporting, and Retaining Women Graduates, our project was supported by the Gender Equality Partnerships grant, and it's a collaboration between Adogbo University Zaria and the University of Northumbria, Newcastle upon Tyne in the UK. And just like the Vice Chancellor earlier noted, we initially planned this research to run for 1 year, but halfway through it, we realized this is a long-term project, and we're already looking into getting more grants for the future aspects of the work. So that means we'll be coming back to you again, particularly the women who were our respondents in the questionnaire survey and in the interviews. So this partnership, like I said earlier, focuses on strengthening pathways into employment for women graduates from further and higher education. My the UK lead will talk about the research in detail in a little while, but the overall aim of this research is to improve our understanding of evidence-based practices that we can use to strengthen the pathways for women. What can we do? What are those strategies? What are those innovative practices that can be adopted by the higher education institutions, by the women themselves, by the people who train them? I'm happy to have professors and doctors and lecturers here. You're training the women and you serve as an inspiration to us. Growing up in the academic circle, you will find that there are few women, and the question often is asked, then who mentors you? And I always make the point, I'm a woman, but I don't need a woman to mentor me all the time. You can get academic mentorship from men. So for me, academically, the people who mentored me were Professor Kabir Bala and Professor Adogbo Ibrahim. I think it was years later before I got to know a few other women that I learned from. So you can actually start with the people that you have. So the intention for our research is to draw from the strengths and successes that we have in the UK and in Nigeria, and also to inform clear strategies and guidelines to improving the numbers of women graduates. So the collaborators on the project have been highlighted earlier by our compare, who talked about the partners in the UK and also in Nigeria. Thank you very much for your time, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, hope you can